And good morning. Welcome to Mainline Morning. I'm James Connors.
And I'm Mary Bridget Kane.
And today is Friday, November 6, 2009. Today we have Cindy Kerr on the show, right here. Cindy Kerr is the founder of ConKerr Cancer, which is a nonprofit organization that makes pillowcases for sick children in hospitals. Welcome to the show, Mrs. Kerr. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
All right, before we get started with Mrs. Kerr, we're going to toss it over to Heather Ashley with weather.
Thanks, James. It is currently 38 degrees and sunny. Later on, it will be mostly sunny and chilly with a high of 49 degrees and a low of 28 degrees. As we look at the 5-day forecast, Saturday will be warmer with plenty of sun, having a high of 56 degrees and a low of 36. Sunday will be mild with sunshine and having some clouds, having a high of 63 degrees and a low of 41. Into next week, Monday will be mostly sunny and warm with a high of 67 degrees and a low of 44. On Tuesday, we will be seeing some clouds and sun with a high of 63 degrees and a low of 42. And Wednesday will be partly sunny with a high of 54 degrees and a low of 36. That's all for your weather report. Now back to James and Mary Bridget.
All right, thanks, Heather Ashley.
Thanks. All right, well, ConKerr Cancer is an organization that makes pillowcases for sick children. When did you know that you wanted to start the organization?
Well, my son Ryan Kerr, who was a student here at Conestoga, was diagnosed with bone cancer in 2002. And so I used to make fun pillowcases for him every time he went into the hospital. And so he would get them every time he came, and then he was cancer-free for about 2 years and had cancer again, and so I didn't know what to do, and I went home and made pillowcases for everybody else in the hospital, and sort of ConKerr Cancer was born.
Wow. Now, giving pillowcases is such a small gesture, but it really must go a long way for those children.
It really does. I mean, it's, you know, it seems like such a simple thing, but we get incredible notes from parents saying how it brightens the child's day. The nurses say it makes it easier for putting IVs in and stuff. And I mean, just think, I mean, this makes me smile. I'm sure it makes us. So,
there you have it, one of the pillowcases.
So this is one of them, yep. And here's a girl one. So, and I particularly like the Converse ones because Ryan used to wear high-top Converse to school all the time, even with his prosthesis. So I love this one. But even the 16-year-olds love them. So they're just fabulous.
And it takes a lot of work to make these pillowcases. How many volunteers do you have?
Well, we started just with actually Conestoga and the local community, and now we're all across the country and in Canada and South Africa.
Wow.
So we have probably, you know, I don't even know, 10,000 to 20,000 people that volunteer and make pillowcases.
All making pillowcases.
All making pillowcases.
Unbelievable. Now, how many pillowcases have you made?
We have made 112,000 pillowcases so far.
Wow.
And we are in 146 hospitals, and we have 100 chapters. So.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Did you ever think that ConKerr Cancer would become this big?
Never. I mean, I just was doing it for Ryan and then kind of the local community, but it's just sort of gone way beyond my imagination because of people like Conestoga students and other volunteers.
So do you have any sort of a goal for how many pillowcases you want to make or how many chapters?
Well, I think our goal, what we've set, is to have every child with either cancer or a serious illness have a pillowcase by 2012. And there are very few hospitals that we're not at yet.
Wow.
And so we're, you know, doing well at achieving that.
Wow. Now, I know that Conestoga has an organization called ConKerr Cancer, and they help you with the pillowcases?
Yep. Actually, one of the students from Conestoga gave us the name ConKerr Cancer, a Case for Smiles. And the brochure was done by Mr. Steiner. And they actually, peer mediation and Key Club helps, and they set up, like at Cornucopia we're going to be sewing, but they also have a club that make the pillowcases in the, in between time.
All right.
And that gets a lot of the students involved. Do you think that having the pillowcases at Conestoga has gotten their parents involved with the organization too?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I have parents come up to me all the time and say, oh, I'm doing this because my child, was doing it at school, or I'm taking a sewing lesson so I can learn how to do this. So, and there's many ways that people have helped, not only making pillowcases, but we've had people volunteer to help us with our, being, legal things or web design and that type of thing.
Wow. Alrighty, thanks, Mrs. Kerr. We're going to toss it over to Brian Sizik with sports. Brian, the Phillies are out. How are the rest of Philadelphia? How is the rest of Philadelphia?
Well, today should have been the day where I was announcing that the Phillies came back from a 3-1 deficit to win the World Series, but unfortunately, that just is not the case. But we do have some other sports going on, even though it is a little hard to believe. The big game of the weekend actually is Penn State is playing Ohio State at Happy Valley. Penn State comes into the game ranked 11th, while Ohio State is ranked 16th. Terrell Pryor is going back to Happy Valley, where he was thinking about going but decided to go to Ohio State instead. So I'm sure the Penn State fans will heckle him for that. And Penn State is a 3.5-point favorite going into the game. With the Eagles, they also have a very big game this weekend. They are playing the Cowboys at Philly for Sunday Night Football, so that will definitely be an exciting game. And in golf news, Tiger Woods actually shares the 36-hole lead out in a tournament in China, so we will keep you updated on that. And in Philadelphia sports news, the Flyers are playing Buffalo tonight. And that's all we have for sports today. Now let's go back to James.
All right, thanks, Brian. And I know that Sean O'Hare is playing in that golf tournament in China, and we're hoping to have him as a guest on our show. So, Sean, if you're watching, get back to me. I know that you really want to come on the show. So, anyway, we're back here with Cindy Kerr, founder of ConKerr Cancer. Now, a couple years back, you won the L'Oreal Women of Worth Award. Tell us more about that.
Actually, it was just last year.
Just last year. Okay.
And so what it was I was nominated as, there were 10 honorees of women who have given back to their community. And then there was a national vote to determine who would be the National Women of Worth. And I have to say, thanks to Conestoga students also who helped vote, we won. And I think the thing that was the most rewarding for me was I heard the next day that Conestoga students were running through the hallways going, we won, and that's what it's about. It's not about me, and this organization is not about me, because I couldn't do it without all the support that I've had, so.
Wow.
And did you find because it's a national award, did you find that there was a really an influx of support and volunteers?
Yes, we were probably at about 60 chapters before that, and so we gained about 30 chapters after that, and just tons and tons of people wanting to help.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you also received a lot of notoriety for winning that award. You had the chance to appear on the Martha Stewart Show.
Yep, I was on with Martha, and that was quite an experience, and actually that was, Ryan had actually been able to go on there, and a funny story about that is that he was at the end of his life, but I had given Martha Stewart 2 Halloween pillowcases because that was her favorite holiday. And so I went up and I gave them to him and I talked, and I went to sit back in the audience with Ryan. And at the end of the show, she held them up and she said, now Ryan, I'm going to put these on my bed tonight and think of you. Wow. And he leans over to me and he goes, that's creepy. I did not catch that on the news, but that just goes to show you the sense of Ryan's sense of humor, and that's actually how I keep going, remembering his sense of humor. So.
Right.
And now I have to ask, does Martha Stewart make the pillowcases?
No.
I could picture her doing something like that.
Yeah, she would probably do something very funky with them, but yes, no, she's. I don't think she's made any for us.
All right, we're going to toss it over to Annie Compton with your entertainment news. Annie, what's going on?
Well, it is my favorite day of the week. It is Friday, and I'm so excited. I am so happy to have Cindy Kerr here today because she is an amazing woman, and I did vote for her for the Woman of the Year award, and she did win, so that's so exciting. So in today's news now, Rihanna's been in the news lately. She was on Diane Sawyer, or on Good Morning America with Diane Sawyer talking about Chris Brown, because she's been very quiet about her relationship with him, but he was very, very mean to her. And now she's got a new album dropping November 23rd. Now, the thing about this is that Shakira and Lady Gaga's album's also coming out on the 23rd. So that's going to be a little competition between the ladies. So hopefully that will go well for all of them. Now, there's going to be a Shrek spin-off that's going to premiere next November, early November of next year. And it is going to be so cute. It's going to be about the meeting of Puss in Boots and Shrek, how they first met, and kind of like detailing Puss's story prior to meeting Shrek. And that will star Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek. They will voice the characters, so I'm very, very excited for that. And also, John Mayer on his new album is going to collaborate with T Swift, my girl T Swift, love her. And their song is called Half of My Heart, and it's like Fleetwood Mac inspired, and it sounds very, very cute because both of them are cute people. And I just thought I would share this with all of you because this is hilarious. This woman from Clarksville, Tennessee, her name is He-O-Rama, like H-E-E. She was repeatedly calling the police because her lover was saying that he would not marry her. And she was arrested and fined $250 for making non-emergency calls to the 911 dispatchers. But poor little thing is not going to be married, so I hope that she doesn't call the police anymore. That is all for your entertainment news today. Now back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Annie. Mary Bridget and I would like to thank Annie for such a great show yesterday. We had our fall TV preview.
Oh, no thanks. I loved it.
We had a fall TV preview, and it really came out pretty good. So thanks a lot, Annie. All right, back here with Mrs. Kerr.
So obviously this is an organization run by volunteers and people who want to help. How do people get involved in the organization if they're not already?
Okay, so you can do several things. Our number one goal is to make pillowcases. So you can do that on your own. You obviously can join one of the groups here at Conestoga. I would encourage you, Cornucopia is coming up. We will be there to come sit down and make a pillowcase. It's very easy. The other thing is you can raise funds for us because we have to buy the fabric. But just go to ConKerrCancer.org. And you can find my information, and we'll get you started.
Yeah. Now, I actually had the chance to get to know your son, Ryan. I played JV golf with him for 2 years, and one thing that always got me about Ryan was how positive he stayed through all of his hardships.
Yeah, it was, that was one of his traits, and that's sort of what's gotten me to get through all of this.
Right.
But I think the funny thing is when you mentioned golf is that when he obviously he had his leg amputated, so he had a prosthesis.
Right.
But then he also broke his other foot, and he went to play one of the golf tournaments. And I guess his opponent was so freaked out that he couldn't even hit the ball till about the 4th hole, because to see this kid with like a prosthetic leg
right.
and then a cast on the other one out there golfing. So yeah, he would be skiing the next day after chemo. I guess maybe he knew his life was going to be short, and he was just trying to cram it all in. So.
Wow, so inspiring.
Wow. Okay, well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank
it's an
you.
excellent cause. I've had the chance to make pillowcases. They're so fun.
See, and they're easy, right?
Yeah. Oh my. I'm a very good sewer.
Oh, okay.
But we're going to end with. No, we're not.
All right. All right. Well, that about wraps it up for Mainline Morning. We have a special gift for Mrs. Kerr before she goes. We have one of our famous TETV complimentary mugs.
Thank you so much.
So that's for you. Enjoy that.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So that wraps it up for this week of Mainline Morning. I'm James Connors.
I'm Mary Bridget Kane. Have a wonderful morning.
Thanks, Mrs. Kerr.
Thanks.